So this week I'm doing a review from my bed. Why my bed, I hear you ask? Well, it's because I've been testing out the brand new Soundcore A20 sleep buds. These are a pair of earbuds that are specifically designed to help you sleep. So I've been trying them out for the last couple of weeks. So I'm gonna give you my thoughts on what I think they're like, whether they're worth buying, plus if you've got their previous versions, the A10s, whether it's worth upgrading from these to these. Let's get into it. Before I go any further, I should point out that Soundcore have sent me these to review, but they're not paying for or sponsoring this video, so the opinion you get is going to be honest and my own. Now, looking at these, there's kind of 5 key areas that I'd look at in a pair of earbuds, specifically those that are focused on sleep. First one, which is probably one of the most important ones when you consider that they're being used for sleep, is comfort. And helping with that comfort are the size of these earbuds, because these are absolutely tiny. Once they're in your ear, they're really low profile, they don't stick out at all. And I can wear these lying on my side, left or right, and I don't get any pressure of these digging into my ears at all, which is really good. Now, helping these earbuds stay in your ear are these ear wings. It comes with 3 different sizes. The medium ones are installed by default, but it also comes with a small and a large too. So you can pick the right one that's going to make them a good fit for your ears. Then for them actually fitting in your ear canal, well, there's actually 7 different ear tips that you can pick. It comes with a standard seal ear tips, and there's 4 different sizes. Medium is installed by default. There's an extra small, a small, and a large as well. These are double flanged or double tipped, so it's a double seal to have in your ear, which gives you good passive noise isolation. However, if you don't like that sort of sealed seal that you get on your ears, then it also comes with a breathable ear tips. Comes with 3 different sizes for those. They're perforated, so it lets more noise into your ears, which isn't going to be so good for blocking out noise, but some people are going to find that more comfortable. So lots of options for making sure that you find the right fit for you. Now, if I compare these to the previous A10s, the A20s actually sit in your ears a lot better. They're more low profile and they don't stick out as much as the A10s do. I also found that the ear wing here on the A20s was actually more comfortable in my ear and actually helped the earbud stay in my ear more than the loop design that's on the A10s. So it's definitely an upgrade from the A10s in the A20 in the comfort department. So there's 2 different ways that you can use these earbuds. There's Bluetooth and there's sleep mode. Over Bluetooth, you could just use Spotify or Netflix or YouTube or anything you can play over these earbuds. So technically you could just use like a relaxation or stress relief playlist off Spotify and listen to that all night on Bluetooth mode. However, sleep mode is really where it comes into its own, and that's also going to help you get to sleep faster. So in sleep mode, it plays a constant soothing sound, typically white noise or falling rain or something like that, in the background to help you fall asleep. By default, it is set to rain in here, but you can go into the mobile app and you can go and choose from a number of presets that you might want to change it to, and then it'll upload that onto the earbuds, or you can go and create your own custom one where you can select up to 3 different sounds combined together to create your own custom sleep sound. And then when it's in sleep mode, that is the sound that is going to play on these earbuds. There's some real funky automatic switching between Bluetooth and sleep mode as well. So if I switch back to the main menu and you've got these playback settings. Now you've got smart switch. Now if you turn this on, what it does is actually monitors you and actually picks up when you fall to sleep. So if you want to start listening to a podcast on Spotify over Bluetooth, for instance, you can set it to smart switch. And when the earbuds detect that you're falling asleep, it will stop the Bluetooth, so it will stop the podcast, and it will switch to the sleep sounds. There's an overarching timer to this as well, so there's a keep playing mode above it, which is either until I fall asleep, so you can set the number of hours that you want it to still be playing for, or you can just set it to all night. Just be aware that that's kind of a master switch, so if you say that you want it to last for just 2 hours, then it's just going to play for 2 hours, and then it's going to turn off regardless of whether you've got it in Bluetooth mode or sleep. So I tend to just have it on all night because I want it to be playing all night. Now there is a quick tip that I would recommend here, because whilst there are touch controls on here, so if I go into the settings and I go onto the controls, you can either set double tap or triple tap on both earbuds to do different actions. And that's cool if you're using these during the day. At night though, I would recommend turning the touch controls off, so set all the actions to none. The only reason I recommend doing that is because whilst you're asleep, you have no idea what you're doing. So I could double tap the earbuds in the middle of the night whilst I'm asleep. I'm not going to know about it. And then that might skip a track or pause it or turn it off or change the volume or whatever. So I just turn all the controls off at night. If you want to use the controls during the day, you can just change the controls again. Just a tip, works really well for me. might work well for you. Now let's go and talk about the battery life of these, because the battery life of these is really impressive. The advertised battery life is 14 hours and 10 hours. 14 hours if you use sleep mode, 10 hours if you use Bluetooth. Then if you take into it will take into account a fully charged case, that's going to give you 80 hours if you just use sleep mode, or 55 hours if you go and use Bluetooth. I managed to use these for over a week before I needed to charge the case. Plus at night, if I used just sleep mode, I had about 40% battery life after 8 hours of sleeping, and if I used Bluetooth mode, I still had 20% battery life after the end of an 8-hour sleep, after playing a Spotify playlist for the entire night. So the advertised battery life is actually pretty much spot on, and that's awesome. So if I compare these to the A10s, well, battery life was always a weaker area of these earbuds. You would get typically 6 to 8 hours of battery life in sleep mode with these earbuds. If you put it into Bluetooth mode, you had no chance of these earbuds lasting the night. So battery life is definitely an area where the A20s are far better than the A10s. Now, getting a good night's sleep is all well and good, but it's good to get some insights into how you sleep. Fortunately, there's a whole bunch of stats that these earbuds upload onto the Soundcore mobile app, so it can actually tell you that. Now, if I jump into here, and you've actually got weeks and weeks of sleep data to pick from. It tells you whether you meet your sleep goal, it tells you how many hours in a night you've been asleep. Not only that though, it tells you when you went to sleep, it tells you when you woke up, it tells you how much deep sleep, light sleep, and how many times you woke up during the night as well. And not only that, it also tells you how many times a night you rolled over in your sleep, plus the side that you typically spend most time during a night sleeping on. So whether that's your left side, right side, or even on your back. Now, if I compare the stats that you get out of the A20s with what you get out of the A10s, well, the stats isn't as good. You do get the breakdown of like how much sleep you've had, sort of that light sleep, deep sleep, how long you've been awake. You don't get some of the insights into how many times you've been tossing and turning in your sleep, or what side you've predominantly been sleeping on. So you do get more information and more insights with the A20, and I think the interface looks better on the A20 than it does on the A10. Now, whilst these earbuds are focused on trying to help you sleep, well, you can use them to watch movies on Netflix or YouTube or whatever, or Disney Plus. So sound can be important as well. Now, the sound out of these I actually thought was pretty good. I mean, it's not super bassy, but really these are sleep buds, so they're not trying to be super bassy, they're trying to help you go to sleep. And I wouldn't push these too loud either, because at high volumes, the treble on these get really harsh. But again, that's really not what these are designed for. These are sleep buds. They're not designed to be played loud. So at low volumes, whilst you're trying to get to sleep, they sound really good. And even at medium volumes, whilst you're watching a movie or listening to music, they're fine as well. If you don't quite like the sound, then you can go and jump into presets. So inside the mobile app itself, you can go into controls, go into sound effects, and there are 6 different presets that you can go and pick from. Plus there's a custom EQ where there's an 8-band custom EQ, so you can tweak the sound profile to whatever you want. Typically, I just leave it in default and leave it on the signature sound profile, but it's good to have the option if you want it. Now, there's not really any issues that I've had with the A20, because as a pair of sleep buds, it does exactly what it's meant to do. But that does come with it some compromises. Some of that is really down to the size of these, because to keep them small, you have to omit a few things out. So there's no mic in these. So really, I would say in a pair of sleep buds, why would you want a mic? That does also mean that there's no ANC, so no active noise cancelling in here. Now, you could argue that for a pair of earbuds that are trying to make you sleep, that would actually be quite useful. However, if you added that, it would add more bulk to the earbuds, so they'd be less comfortable, and your battery life would take a significant hit, so they probably wouldn't last all night. So it's a land of compromises where they're trying to help you get to sleep, not necessarily be a pair of earbuds that can do everything. So should you buy these? Well, I think if you've already got a pair of these Soundcore A10s, then I think it depends. Because yes, the A20s are an upgrade. They have better sound, better fit, better battery life, better insights into your sleep. They're an all-round better pair of sleep buds. But if you're happy with the A10s, then stick with them. If you've got nothing and you are just looking for a pair of earbuds, then getting these depends on whether you want a pair of sleep buds or not. Because these are not going to replace my everyday pair of earbuds. I've got a pair of actually Soundcore Liberty 4s that sit in my bag when I go to work. I use those for commuting and I use them for taking calls. They're just small, take up no space, and the battery life is really good. But I use those during the day. I would never use them to go to sleep because they're really big in comparison to these, and they're just not comfortable for lying on your side when you're trying to sleep. So if your focus is buying a pair of earbuds that are going to help you sleep and stay asleep, then these Soundcore A20s are definitely worth a look. And if you compare it against some of the competition like the Bose Sleep Buds 2, well, they're $100 more expensive than these are. I will put a purchase link to it in the description down below so that you can go check it out for yourself. If you want to check out some more earbuds, then be sure to check out the link up here. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.